Hello and welcome, Daffy Roth here, and this is Vagrant Story for the PlayStation 1. We recently wrapped up the Blasphemous series, so I figured this would be a nice little pivot. They share similar qualities, well, at least story-wise. Definitely not gameplay-wise. So we're just going to go over the manual in this episode. We'll cover a lot of the other stuff as far as, my thoughts or my history of the game and so on and so forth in the actual gameplay video, which will come right after this. So we're going to open up with our cover here. It's standard cover. Nothing to write home about. I personally like it, but of course with PlayStation, it's got 2 discs. I don't think the second disc, I only remember 1 disc, so I think the second disc is simply just a demo disc based on what the manual states. And then of course it's by SquareSoft, in the heyday of SquareSoft. So this is when they were cranking out banger after banger. Next up, we just have our standard warnings, epileptic seizures and whatnot, and how to handle your disc. Stuff that really doesn't pertain to us anymore. Also, projection TV, that's always an interesting thing. All right, next up, we just have Vagrant Story, our contents page. Vagrant Story. The Vagrant Story, the story of a hero who must lose all he cherishes to find the truth. One thing that Square always does well is the artwork. So, and then we have our table of contents. Yeah, see demo disc instructions on page 24. So, pretty sure that's what the second disc is. All right, next up we have our introduction. In a most heinous crime, the manor of Duke Bardorba of Valendia Kingdom was seized by a cult of religious fanatics known as Molenkamp. Although several innocents were murdered, news of the incident was suppressed, and Sidney Lastrot, the leader of Molenkamp, has not been seen since. Duke Bardorba was away during the seizure of the manor and escaped the atrocities. Yet 1 week later, an unknown assailant took the Duke's life. Riskbreaker Ashley Riot, a member of the Valendia Knights of the Peace, the VKP, entrusted with breaking the cultist's hold on the manor, was named as a suspect at a meeting of Parliament. He disappeared shortly after the accusation. During the week between the incident and the Duke's assassination, suspected assassin Ashley made a peculiar trip to a city lost to memory, the deserted city of Leá Monde. Leá Monde, now a shell of its former glory, housed more than 5,000 people during the Golden Age. Its prosperity ended 25 years ago when a powerful earthquake struck the city. High tidal waters rushed in to fill the rift in the earth left by the earthquake, cutting the city off from the outside world. Above the waters, the land shifted and twisted, losing much of its former shape. Beneath the city where monks had once worked the stone into chambers and passageways, the vast labyrinthine tomb became a home for the souls of the dead. The player will experience the crucial week during Ashley's visit to Leá Monde. What happened in the haunted city? Did Ashley really assassinate the Duke? Only the player, as Ashley, will be able to uncover the truth. Alright, so that's the stage. Next up, we have Getting Started. Here's our awesome PlayStation 1 console. So we have, set up your PlayStation game console according to the instructions in the manual. Of course, we don't need to do that. We're playing on an emulator. So, let's see here. When the power is on, the opening movie will begin. Press the circle button or start button during the opening movie to advance to the title screen. Select one of the following commands to press the circle button. So our menu options are new game, start a new game from the beginning, continue the game from a previous save. For details, see loading the game listed below. Vibration, turn on and off, the vibration function of the DualShock OnElect controller. Sound, set the sound output to stereo or mono. Saving the game. Save the game at Circles of Magic, save points like the ones shown on the right, or a storage container, or as storage containers. Okay, so you can store as storage containers or the other. Okay, it's one or the other. Save the game by selecting data from the menu screen, then selecting save with the circle button. Now select a memory card, 1 or 2, and press the circle button. Select the file in which you save the game. If the file contains previously saved game data, the data will confirm whether to overwrite this file. Select yes and press the circle button. Loading the game. Select the correct memory card slot and press the circle button. Now press up or down on the directional buttons to select the file to load, and press the circle button to load the file. All right, basic controls. We have our L2, R2. This is the DualShock analog controller that came out towards the end of the PlayStation cycle, but we have the original PlayStation controller on this side over here. You may have a controller that looks like this. If so, please follow the digital instructions below. But all right, so left stick can be used when the LED is lit. The DualShock analog controller's vibration function can be turned on or off at the title screen or by selecting options from the menu screen. Switching between analog and digital mode will not disable the vibration function. In analog mode, the left stick can be used for the same functions as the directional button described throughout this manual. To restart the game without turning the power off, press L1, L2, R1, select and start buttons at the same time to execute a soft reset function. Messages may be advanced with the circle, X, triangle, square, L1, L2, R1, or R2 button. All right, here's our controls. So under normal, this is your unarmed. The directional buttons or left stick, move, grip, climb up, press in the direction which you climb, and Ashley will grab a ledge and pull himself up to a new level. Change perspective in a free look mode. Right stick free look. That's actually pretty cool. We actually have a first person mode in this, which is pretty neat. Start button is free look, skip demo. Select button, zoom in and zoom out. Circle, execute command or draw a weapon, switch to battle mode. Cross button, cancel, open doors and treasure chests, move cubes, push, carry, place, etc. and free look mode. Square button is jump. Triangle, display menu screen. L1 and L1 and R1 is to rotate the map counterclockwise and clockwise. L2 is display abbreviated commands. R2 walk when used with directional buttons or left stick. All right, our controls are continued here. Under battle mode, weapon drawn. Move, select target and targeting sphere. Change perspective in free look mode. Right stick is free look. Start button, free look, skip demo. Pretty much a lot of the same stuff as before, so I'm not really going to go over it again. Menu screen. Still the same thing. Circle is to execute the command. Triangle is to close menu. X is to cancel or go back. L1 and R1 are to go back and forth between the status windows. This game is going to be heavily in the menus, and yeah, I'm still struggling with getting used to these freaking controls and how they have it. So, all right, here's our characters. I'm actually going to take the I'm going to read these here, but in the probably in the second episode, I'm going to go ahead and play or go through the strategy guide character introductions, because this only shows 3. So, yeah, it's just better for overall, so that we know who everybody is, because all the title boxes don't really have names and stuff. So, anyways, for characters, we have Ashley Riot, age late 20s, height 6 feet, association VKP, the Valendia Knights of Peace, Riskbreaker Militia. After graduating as valedictorian from the VKP Academy, Ashley worked as an elite soldier. Following the tragic death of his wife and child at the hands of a ruffian, he transferred to the Dangerous Criminal Task Force, aka Riskbreaker, the most danger-ridden post in the VKB, where he remains today. Riskbreakers conduct their investigations alone, infiltrating into and investigating foreign crime syndicates. Many lose their lives during their assignments. The successful rate stands at less than 30%. Ashley, maintaining his calm in all situations, has succeeded in mission after mission. When Molenkamp cultists enter the Greylands and seize Bardorba's manor, a chain of events was set into motion, ending with the assassination of Duke Bardorba. Ashley's involvement in the intrigues at the manor make him a prime suspect in the Duke's assassination. A risk-breaker with a tragic past, Ashley must now face an uncertain future. Only his efforts can reveal the truth and clear his name. Alright, next up we have Romeo Guildenstern. Age 34, height 5'11", Association Knights of the Cross. Leader of the Crimson Blades, Knights of the Cross, a military order under the direct control of the Cardinal. Although every bit a knight of elegance and breeding, Romeo can be utterly cold-blooded, never hesitating in the name of justice for the kingdom. He led the Knights of the Cross during the incident at Duke Bardorba's manor, and led the effort to suppress the riots that ensued. Why the Cardinal's Knights of the Cross became involved despite having received no orders to do so remains a mystery. Then we have our antagonist, Sydney Lestrade. Age unknown, late 20s, height 5'10", Association Molenkamp. Leader of a cult that worships the ancient priestess Molenkamp. Sydney is a self-professed prophet who preaches about human weakness and the end of the world. Sydney can precisely describe the past of those he meets, and it is rumored that he can manipulate others at his will. His charisma has attracted a zealous following, prompting Parliament to declare the Molenkamp cult a threat to state security. After masterminding the seizure of the Bardorba Manor and the Greylands, Sydney held the Duke's family and servants hostage in exchange for the release of his followers, but it seemed that his true intent lay elsewhere. Riskbreaker Ashley Riot encounters Sydney seemingly by chance during his mission, but their meeting was ordained by fate. Alright, next up we have game screen and commands. Reading the game screens during normal mode, see page 17 for information on reading screens during battle mode. Alright, of course we have our HP, which is pretty standard. That's our maximum hit points. It's our current hit points over our maximum hit points. HP slowly regenerates over time. When Ashley's HP reaches 0, the game is over. MP is our current magic points and maximum magic points. MP are used to cast magic spells. MP slowly regenerates over time. Then we have Risk. That's kind of the main thing of this game. Risk increases Ashley attacks enemies and decreases over time. When Risk is high, Ashley's hit rate decreases, but his chance of landing a critical hit increases. The simple map, a limited map of Ashley's current location. The red dot denotes points where Ashley entered the room, and the white dots show the room's other exits. Then we have our limb gauge. I think it's funny that it has his hair. It displays the condition of Ashley's body parts using different colors. The meaning of each color is explained on page 11. Okay, then we have the menu screen commands. Press the triangle button during gameplay to view the menu screen. So Magic displays the list of spells Ashley has learned. This option will not be available till Ashley has learned at least one spell. Break Arts. Display the break arts for the currently equipped weapon. Select View Arts to view which break arts have been learned for each weapon type. This option will not be available till Ashley has learned at least one break art. Battle Abilities displays the chain and defense abilities that Ashley has learned. To assign abilities to buttons, select either chain abilities or defense abilities from this window. From the list of available battle techniques, choose 3 abilities and assign a button, circle, triangle, or square, to each. When an ability has been assigned to a button successfully, the icon for that button will appear next to the technique. Change button assignments at any time. Alright, then we have our commands continued. We have Equip. Display currently equipped weapons and armor. Select a body part to view in the list of weapons and armor that can be equipped to that body part. Select a weapon or equipment to equip and press the circle button to equip the item. Setup. To customize weapons and armor options, select Setup and choose among the following options. See page 20 and 21 for full descriptions. Assemble weapons. The options to the left are only available within the weapons. Oh, okay, I see what this is saying. Assemble weapons, repair, and combine. The options to the left are only available within the workshops throughout Leá Monde. See page 20 and 21 for details. We have attach gems, set gems and weapons and shields, disassemble, disassemble weapons and shields into their individual components, and then rename. Change weapon names. Select a weapon name to change with the directional button or left stick. Enter a new name, then select OK, or press the start button to accept the name. Next, select yes to complete inventory. Alright, in the items window, press the L1, R1 buttons to the left and right. Directional buttons allows the player to scroll through the following categories: So we have weapons. View all weapons in the inventory. A maximum of 8 weapons can be stored in inventory. So that's completed weapons, both the blade and the hilt. Blades, or I'm sorry, grips in this game. Blades, view all blades in the inventory. Weapon blades are used in workshops as assembly materials. A maximum of 16 blades can be stored in inventory. Grips, view all grips in inventory. Weapon grips are used in workshops as assemble materials. A maximum of 16 grips can be stored in inventory. Shields, view all shields in inventory. A maximum of 8 shields can be stored in inventory. So kind of same with our weapons there. Armor, view all types of armor in inventory. Maximum of 16 armor can be stored in inventory. View all gems in inventory. Attach gems to weapons and shields. A maximum of 48 gems can be stored in inventory. Miscellaneous. View all miscellaneous items in inventory. Select an item to use from the list. To then select, use, and choose a target for the item. Confirm the target to use an item. A maximum of 64 items can be stored in inventory. All right, then we have search, discard, sort, repair, and status. When selecting weapons, armor, and parts, press the circle button to each to search, discard, and sort them. Search for the weapons and shields that use the selected part. Discard the selected weapon, armor, or part from inventory. Equipped items cannot be discarded. To discard the item, select yes. Discard all. Only appears when this is selected. Discards all the selected items. To discard the item, select yes. Status, view status for weapons, blades, grips, armor, and gems by pressing the square button. To check the status of a particular item, move the cursor to that item and press the square button. Use the L1 or R1 buttons to view the status of other items of the same type. Alright, commands. Reading item status. DP is your damage points. When an item's DP reaches 0, the item's efficiency is drastically reduced. So these are our two main things that we really need to pay attention to in the game. PP, phantom points. Increase as weapons and shields are used. The greater the value, the higher the attack power for weapons or defense power for shields. Phantom points gradually decrease while the weapon and shield remain drawn, but they increase when you are used. So ORG, the initial stats for the item. Equip, the final combined value of all stats, a combination of Ashley stats and the weapons, armor, and accessory stats. Range, weapons with a high range have a large target sphere. Risk points added at the time of attack. Attack STR, higher strength increases attack power and endurance level. Attack INT, higher intelligence increases effectiveness of and the resistance to magic. Agility, higher agility increases chance to hit or evade. Alright, now we have our for class, type, and affinity. The greater the value, the greater the effect. Don't expect great results if the value is negative. Class, human. Attack defense value against human and demi-human enemies. Beast, attack defense value against beasts. I mean, this is all pretty standard. So your class, you have human, beast, undead, phantom, dragon, and evil. I just like that value against evil enemies. Okay, so our type. So we have blunt, edged, and piercing. So those are our types of weapons. And then our affinity, we have physical, air, fire, earth, water, light, and dark. Physical, if you use more physical stuff, I guess it lowers the other affinities. And then I guess with, like, if I use fire, it will lower water and so on and so forth. That's kind of... All right, moving on. Commands. As Ashley progresses through Leá Monde, each of his various stats will increase, including hit points and magic points. The status of each limb is displayed here. Press the square button to view detailed properties. Check the status of any enemy on the map by pressing the L1, R1 buttons to view the enemy's parameters. The spell's analysis must be in effect. Reading character stats. ORG, or its original, the initial value of each stat. Equip, the final combined value of all stats, a combination of Ashley stats and weapon, armor, and accessory stats. Strength, the greater the value, the higher the attack power and endurance level. So from what I understand, when it's calculating damage, you're basically comparing strength to their strength. Same thing with intelligence. Like if you're casting magic, it's intelligence versus intelligence. Agility is there, basically is calculated into whether they hit. It's just a whole thing. So basically strength is the greater the value, the higher the attack power and endurance level. Intelligence, the greater the value, the greater the magic effects and resistance power. Agility, the greater the value, the better chance to hit or evade attacks. Then we have right arm, left arm, body, head, body, and legs. All right. And some monsters have other hit locations not shown here, like tail, wings, and so forth. We're going to go off to the side here. We have legs. This is what it looks like when we're looking at the status for our thing. This would be better if it had actually been in color, but, you know. So we have our limb, and then the color of the stat, and then the actual status. So limb status changed as follows. Excellent is blue. The best status, perfectly healthy. Green's good status, use caution. Yellow's average, normal status, not dangerous, but avoid battle. Like, what? I mean, if it's normal, then what's it matter? Bad is orange, bad status, seriously wounded. Red's dying, the worst status. I like that. Red is the worst status. You go to the hospital. How are you feeling? Well, I'm red. When a body part is dying, the following penalties apply. Attack is 50%. Normal attack and break art damage is halved. Left arm, parry 50%. Chance to parry is halved. Head, silence, cannot use magic. Risk 200%. Basically, so if your body is dying, your risk is at 200%. Risk increases gradually when the target sphere is opened. Legs, move 50%. Movement speed is halved. So this not only applies to us, but enemies as well. So the enemies somewhat have the same stuff that we do. I'm not sure if they have risk or not. I think they do. But so yeah, attacking various the only one that I've ever seen actually pop up though is move 50%. Now their body parts will die and you may not get that, but I do definitely have seen the move 50%. I just have never seen the attack, parry, and I cast silenced on people, but they can still use magic, so who the hell knows. Then we have our map. Displays the map. Direction buttons. Scroll the screen. Circle button lists all available maps. L2 directional buttons, right stick rotate the map. L1 and R1 cycles through the rooms in the current map. R2 directional buttons, R2 plus left stick, zoom in and zoom out. So we have our area name. The current location is our little symbol and the name of the room. Each room is named, and they have some pretty interesting names. All right. Commands are continued here. We have data, save or load game data. See page 3 for details. So we have our options, modify game settings, simple map, change the display method for the simple map, timing, turn the battle ability timing display on or off. The exclamation point that appears above Ashley's head denotes battle ability input timing. Weapon stats, display any weapon status changes when Ashley attacks. Blue is positive, red is negative. Armor status, display any armor status changes when Ashley's attack. Blue is positive, red is negative. Cursor memory, store the cursor's last menu position. The cursor will return to its previous position when the menu is reopened. Information, toggle the information display on the bottom of the screen on or off. Puzzle, set puzzle, evolve or die mode on or off. Sound, set sound output to stereo or mono. Vibration, turn on or off the vibration functions of the DualShock analog controller. I think the puzzle mode, you have to, no matter what, you can turn it off, but I think how that works is, like if I turn it off, after I solve the puzzle, every time I go back to the room, the puzzle will be solved. Otherwise, I have to keep redoing it every time. We're going to leave it on just to see how that works, to see if it gets annoying or not. So it just depends. Score displays various scores and gameplay information such as titles received, enemies defeated, percentages of map completed, etc. Quick menu, use the quick menu to access information on controls, combat, magic, and screen layout, or to view game tips. Or gameplay tips, rather. Okay. Moving on, we have the features of Leá Monde. Doors. Many different types of doors connect Leá Monde's rooms to one another. Some can be opened easily, while others must be unlocked before they can be opened. To unlock doors, search for keys or switches. Sometimes certain monsters must be defeated before a door will unlock. Treasure chest. To open a treasure chest, press the X button while standing directly in front of it. The lid will open and a list of items contained within will be displayed. Move the cursor over to the item you wish to take and press the circle button. The item will move to your inventory. Press the square button to take all the items from the treasure chest. Press the cross button at any time to close the treasure chest. Any remaining items will be discarded and lost forever. If Ashley cannot carry any more of the particular item, press the circle button while the item list is displayed to view Ashley's inventory. Select any unwanted items from the list and either discard or disassemble item. This way, Ashley may be able to make room for new items. Some treasure chests may be locked. To unlock these chests, find either a key to open them or use the unlock spell. All right, containers. Containers are chests used to store items from Ashley's inventory. Items placed into a container can be accessed from any container in the game. Since Ashley can only carry a limited number of items, it is wise to store extra items in containers. Press the X button while standing in front of a container to take out and store items. Remove and store. Select remove to bring up the items window. Press the left and right directional buttons or the L1 R1 buttons to view items that can be removed from the container. Select the item to remove the container and press the circle button. Use the same steps to store items. While the item is highlighted, you can manually swap its position with another item in the list. Select another item to complete the swap. Press the circle button while an item is highlighted to bring up the following options. Removal, storage, remove items or store the item in a container. To view the items being removed or stored, select the exclamation point from the items menu. Discard a specific number of selected item or discard all. We discard all of the item. Sort, rearrange items by item type or amount. All right. Looking at the picture display here, we have gadget bag, lies and items in inventory. Okay, a number of items currently held versus the maximum capacity, and then our container and the same information. So after deciding which items to remove or discard, press the circle button and select yes to finish. Note, if the current game data does not match the data on the memory card, or the memory card containing the saved data is not inserted into a memory card slot, you will not be able to access items stored in containers. So there's basically going to be two save files we're going to be using. One for our storage and then one for the our saved game. So features of Leá Monde continued. So we have cubes. Various cubes throughout the dungeon can be stacked or pushed to create footing for Ashley. Some cubes can be destroyed with weapons. All cubes will reset once Ashley leaves the room. Types of cubes. You have rolling cubes. That's pretty obvious. They roll one tile, an area of one cube in any unblocked direction. Counter cube. Identical to rolling cubes, but with each move, the counter decreases by 1. When the counter reaches 0, the cube disappears. Push cube. Slide these cubes on one tile in any unblocked direction. These cubes can be destroyed. Sliding cube. Slide the cubes in any direction. They will continue until colliding with an obstacle or falling. Lifting cube. Lift and carry these cubes to another location. Can be destroyed. Magnet cube. Lift and carry these cubes to another location. There are red and blue magnet cubes. When cubes of the same color are stacked on top of one another, the cube on top floats one cube space above the bottom cube. When red and blue cubes are stacked, the cubes will join and stay locked in the current position. These cubes cannot be detached once they are connected. The magnetic force only affects cubes stacked vertically. Okay, advice from VKP number 1. When climbing cliffs, use cubes or jump. Height of 2 cubes, move towards the wall to grip and climb. Height of 3 cubes, jump to grip or move cubes to create a higher platform. Height of 4 cubes, cannot climb without help. If there is only 1 cube, grip by jumping from the top of that cube. Grip without jumping by stacking 2 cubes. Advice from the VKP2, Leá Monde is a place of mystery. All cubes are returned to their original position once Ashley leaves the room. Use this feature to undo mistakes. Magic. Alright, features of Leá Monde continued. We have traps. There are many traps within Leá Monde. Step on them at your own risk. Marking traps. Discover traps by using markings. Marking methods are listed below. Using items, use Eye of Argon. Using magic, use Eureka magic. Triggering traps. Once the trap is triggered, it will remain visible. As I was going to say, markings are only valid until Ashley exits the room. Alright, so our types of trap. We have Death Vapor. Physical direct damage trap. Eruption, fire-based direction trap. It basically all happens when you step on them, so I'm not going to read that second part of Ashley's feat stat stuff. So, freeze, water-based directional, direct damage trap, gust, air-based damage trap, terra thrust, earth-based damage trap, holy light, light direct damage trap, Diablos, dark direct damage trap, poison panel, status abnormality trap. So we have paralysis and curse. So obviously those give you poison, paralysis, and cure. Now these two at the bottom are awesome. Heal panel, recovery. The power of the god Fortuna restores a few HP. Cure panel, recovery. The divine protective power of the god Fortuna removes all status abnormalities. Those are good traps. Also makes sense for those to be in crypts and around undead. So, all right, features of Leá Monde continued. Status abnormalities. Some attacks and traps cause status abnormalities. Some status abnormalities recover with time, while others can be removed with the aid of magic and items. So strength down and strength up are pretty self-explanatory. Intelligence up, intelligence down is still same thing with agility up and down. Yeah. Quicken makes you faster. Silent, magic cannot be used. I call bullshit because I have cast silence on those stupid ass phantoms, which we'll come across later, and they can still cast magic. So it's stupid. Paralysis weapons, bare hand attacks, and break arts cannot be used. Poison, HP decrease over time. Numbness, movement speed decreases, battle abilities are disabled, and some convulsions rack Ashley's body. Curse, strength, intelligence, and agility all decrease. Regeneration, HP, recovery, speed increases. Oh man, I want that status abnormality. Anti-magic spells, cancels the next spell cast on Ashley. Item ability decrease, weapon and armor abilities decrease, cannot change equipment. Item ability increase, weapons and armor abilities increase. Attach air, fire, earth, and water. Those disattach those properties to the weapon. Resist air, fire, earth. Same thing for defense. Advice from VKP 3: be careful when attacking from behind obstacles. Obstacles may hinder attacks, so beware. Advice from VKP number 4: change perspectives. Change to first person perspective. Free look to discover passages in high areas and observe situations below cliffs. Free look in first person perspective to find hidden doors and treasure boxes too. All right, next up we have battle system. Battle mode. Press the circle button to make Ashley draw his weapon and enter battle mode. During battle mode, cubes cannot be lifted and carried and walls cannot be climbed. All right, so let's see, reading the screen. So you have body. This is when you're targeting an enemy. So the body, the body is going to be the target, their HP, the percentage to hit. I guess that's all. I'm just going off of what I'm seeing. So target information. Number 1 is your target enemy name or limb, target area. 2 is the estimated damage the attack will cause enemy or the targeted limb. When status abnormalities occur, the name of the status abnormality will be displayed as well. 3, percentage chance of hitting targeted enemy or limb when the attack has added effects such as abnormalities. Those are also displayed. 4 is your type of target type, limb, section, cube, monster. 5 is your attack type and affinity. And then 6 is your class of enemy. So is that what I'm using then? I wonder. I think so. That must be what it is. Targeting sphere displays attack range. The size and shape of the targeting sphere differ according to the type of attack. Enemy limbs, target areas. Then you have your target information. Enemy limbs, target areas currently selected for attack. See details at left. So attack method: an enemy must be at least partially within the range outlined by the targeting sphere. Check by pressing the circle button to bring up the targeting sphere. After selecting an area of attack, press the circle button to start the attack. If there are several enemies within the targeting sphere, decide which enemies to attack and confirm with the circle button. So when an enemy begins an attack, it will emit an attack signal and turn red, providing an early warning. All right, battle ability. Shortly after entering Leá Monde, Ashley begins to acquire battle abilities. There are 2 types of battle abilities: chain abilities and defense abilities. Using battle abilities, by assigning battle abilities to the circle, triangle, or square buttons, you can use these special techniques during battle. Acquiring battle abilities. If chain or defense abilities are used successfully, Ashley will gain experience points for acquiring new battle abilities. After acquiring enough experience points, Ashley can learn a new battle ability. To acquire a new battle ability, either select either chain ability or defense ability. A list of abilities Ashley has not yet learned will be displayed. Select the ability that best suits your combat style. All right, battle system continued. We have chain ability, attack type. Use chain abilities by pressing a button that you have already assigned to a chain ability. At the exact moment Ashley weapon hits the enemy, if you are successful, your attack will have an added effect. You can link multiple chain effects together if you continue pressing other chain abilities with perfect timing. With the correct time, you can perform multiple consecutive attacks. Something that I learned is that enemies can be resistant to chain attacks, so that only like a certain number of chains will be effective, and anything after that would just be 0. Defense ability, defense type. Defense abilities can guard against both physical and magical attacks. At the exact moment an enemy attack hits Ashley, press one of the defense ability buttons to attain added effects. Unlike chain abilities, defense abilities cannot be triggered consecutively. Timing feedback. Too fast is obviously too early. Fast is fast. Cool is perfect timing. Slow is slow. Too slow is too slow. In addition to the above, the words good, excellent, right on, perfect, well timed, nice, and great may appear. They all have the same meaning as cool, which the comment signals discover the correct timing for your attacks. Timing displays. When the option timing display is turned on, the exclamation point will appear to help indicate the point at which the battle ability button should be pressed. Press the battle ability button at the moment the exclamation point is displayed, and your success rate will rise. Advice from the VKP number 5. Use the map command. If a key or sigil is found, it may open a previously encountered locked door or chest. Select map from the menu screen and look for rooms where locked doors are located. Alright, battle system continue. Break arts. Special techniques that can be learned from each type of weapon. Using break arts. Open the menu screen and select break arts to view the break arts available to the currently equipped weapon. Select a break art and then target an enemy to begin the attack. Select view arts to view a list of all weapons. Weapons for which Ashley has learned break arts will be displayed in white font. Press the circle button while a weapon is highlighted to check in available break arts for the particular weapon type. Using break arts concerned HP, relying too heavily on break arts can cause more harm than good. Acquiring break arts. To learn new break arts, Ashley must acquire experience points with his weapon. Gain experience by using weapons to defeat enemies. So we don't necessarily level up in this game, but our weapons do. I guess do this method. They get better by use and so on and so forth. So different weapon types have different break arts. The experience points gained for each weapon are specifically used to acquire break arts for that type of weapon. All right, magic. In order to use magic, you first find the grimoire scattered throughout Leá Monde. Use a grimoire to learn the magic written on its pages. Each magic spell contains a amount of MP. As long as he has enough MP, Ashley can cast magic spells he has learned. If Ashley does not have the necessary amount of MP to cast a spell, he cannot cast that spell. See page 23 for the list of some of magic which can be used. Using grimoires, select a grimoire to use from the miscellaneous category with an items window. Select a target for the grimoire spell and press the circle button. The spell consumes the necessary MP as magic written and the grimoire is cast. Using magic, Ashley learns any magic spell cast using a grimoire. Select magic to view each type of magic. Select the type of magic to use to see the list of the spells Ashley has learned. Select a spell to use from the list. To open the targeting sphere, press the circle button to cast a spell. If Ashley does not have enough MP, the spell cannot be used. Some magic spells have an area of effect. The spell will affect targets within range, including Ashley. Change the height of the sphere by pressing up or down drag. Ooh, I didn't know that. That's good to know. Items, weapons, and armor. So, acquiring items. After some battles, Ashley may find items. If a defeated enemy has an item, an item list will be displayed. Select an item to take and press the circle button. To acquire all items in the list, press the square button. Ashley's inventory can only hold a limited number of items. If Ashley can hold no more items, press the circle button a second time to bring up the inventory screen for the same item type as was selected for the item list. Select any unneeded items from the disc and discard them. In the case of weapons, you can also disassemble them to their component parts to make room for new items. Press the X cross button to close the screen and the item will be discarded. Alright, some items which can be found in Leá Monde. We have Cure Root. Cures 50 HP. Cure Bulb cures about 100. Mana Root and Mana Bulb 20 or 25 or 50. Acolyte's Nostrum. Restores about 100 HP and MP. Alchemist reagent restores about 25 HP and risk points. Isidril's Tears removes paralysis. Fairy Troll removes poison. Spirit Horizon removes numbness. Angelic Peon removes curse. Panacea removes paralysis, poison, and numbness. And the Eye of Argon makes all traps in the current location temporarily visible. Advice from the BKP number 6, items of unknown use. If a player acquires an item whose use is unknown, check the miscellaneous category for items window. The names of keys, sigils, and items are displayed there. Although descriptions will be provided for even the strangest looking items, it's up to the player to discover their use. Weapon and armor improvement. Weapons and armor adapt to the way they are used and frequency of use. For example, if a particular weapon is only used to attack dragon class monsters, the weapon will adapt to deal tremendous damage to that type of monster. Create weapons specifically designed to fight each class of monster by using a different weapon against each monster type. Similarly, armor can become stronger against certain monster types' attack properties. When an item's damage points reaches 0, that item will become significantly weaker. So some words on that. Been reading, don't listen to that. Basically, you just want to have a edged, a blunt, and a piercing weapon. And then use your gems to boost certain, because you can swap gems out whenever, as long as it's got a gem swap to the enemies that you're fighting. Otherwise, you're going to be juggling a shit ton of weapons. You just overcomplicate things yourself, because that's kind of where I was getting lost in the sauce. And we'll go over more in detail on that, because I'm going to be using like 3 different types of guides for this shit. Because it's a spreadsheet game to some extent, so it be what it be. To check the progress of weapons and armor, select a weapon or armor in the items window and press the square button to bring up the status display. If the weapon status and armor status are turned on, the development of weapons and armor will appear on screen during battle. Items, weapons, and armor continued. Disabling weapons and shields. To disable weapons and shields into their component parts, select Setup from the Items menu and select Disassemble. Create new weapons and shields by combining the disassembled parts or attaching them to other parts. Weapons and shields can only be assembled in workshops. First, select a weapon or shield to disassemble. The name and composition of each part will be displayed. Press the circle button to continue. When the confirmation message appears, select yes to complete disassembly. Workshops. Small factories called workshops are scattered throughout Leá Monde. Within these workshops, Ashley can repair and assemble weapons. Different workshops restrict the materials that can be used, so beware. Open the item menu and select Setup to view the workshop options. Repair. Select Repair to restore the DP of weapons, shields, and armor to their maximum values. However, repairs only affect items made of materials supported by that workshop. Select Repair from the Setup menu and select Yes to repair the DP of all applicable weapons and armor at once. Assemble weapons. Select Assemble weapons from the Setup menu. Next, select either blade or grip to view a list of all blades or grips in inventory. If a gem can be attached to the item, a gem slot will appear. After assembly, press the circle button to finalize the process or press the X button to cancel the process. The process is complete when the weapon is assembled and a name for the weapon has been entered. Combine. Blade, shields, and armor can be combined to create new items. Select Combine from the Setup window to view each category, then select which category from which to combine items. Next, select 2 materials to combine, and the results of the combination will be displayed. Select Yes to finalize the combination of these items. To redo the combination, select No, and discontinue combination. Select Cancel Combine. Armor for different body types can be combined, but the resulting armor may be for a different body part. Assembling weapon parts and armor that are currently equipped can be combined. They will be disassembled or equipped if you do so. So, for example, if you were to combine a helmet with, or was it like a leg with an arm, you can get a helmet. I don't know. It's weird shit like that. Battle abilities. Type. Break art. So with the dagger, you have Whistle Sting. Focuses power at the tip of the blade, dealing massive damage upon striking the enemy. Sword. Rending Gale. Launches a sonic wave to shred the enemy to pieces. Great Sword, Sunder. A surge of energy cleaves the life from the enemy's body. Axe and Mace is a Mistral Edge. A horizontal blade of light slashes into the enemy. Great Axe, Bear Claw. A blazing light emanates from the falling blade of the axe. Staff, Sirocco. Sends up a rising sheet of flame on impact. Heavy Mace is Bone Crusher. Releases intense shockwaves to crush bones. Pole Arm is Ruination, forces pure fighting spirit into the spearhead, dealing damage with pinpoint accuracy. Crossbow, Brimstone Hail, quarrels filled with hellfire pierce the enemy. Bare Hands is Lotus Palm, fighting spirit surrounds the fist, pummeling the enemy. So those are all just like level 1. I think each one has 4 levels. So, chain abilities, Heavy Shot adds extra damage to your attack. Gain life, increases HP by a percentage of the damage dealt. Mind Assault deducts enemies' MP by a percentage of damage dealt. Gain Magic increases your MP by a percentage of the damage dealt. Temper increases your weapon's DP by a percentage of the damage dealt. And then Paralysis adds paralysis, numbing, dulling, and snake venom adds poison. So pretty self-explanatory. Defense abilities, Ward counters paralysis, Siphon Soul, percentage of the MP used by enemies during attacks added to your own MP, effective against magical attacks. Reflect reflects a portion, but it does not reduce. Same thing with damage, it reflects a portion back but does not reduce. Impact Guard is against physical, wind against wind, fire against fire, terra earth, aqua water, shadow against light, demon scale against dark. All right, next up we have our magic list. So for Warlock, we have a Solid Shock, physical attack spell, increase shockwaves, pound, intense shockwaves, pound opponents. Lightning Bolt, air-based attack spell, lightning arrows give enemies a nasty shock. Fireballs, fire-based attack spell, searing balls of flame assault the target. Vulcan Lance, earth-based attack spell, razor sharp volcanic debris rain down on the target. Aqua Blast, water-based attack spell, increase cold assaults enemies at supersonic speed. Spirit Surge, light attack spell, spirits of light attack enemies. Dark Chant, dark attack spell, torrents enemies with a burst of pain. Shaman is your healing. You have heal, which restores HP to the target. It affects undead, but not like ghosts for whatever fucking reason. Restoration. If I sound bitter about ghosts, because I am. Anyways, Restoration removes paralysis from the target, thanks to the protective god of war is that Vermeer? Antidote removes poison from the target thanks to the protection of the god Omesis. Blessing removes curse from the target thanks to the protection of the goddess Amor. Sorceries. We have Hercules. Temporary increases in strength. Enlighten increases intelligence. Invigorate increases agility. Prostasia. Temporary increases the effectiveness of target's weapons and armor. This increase is proportional to the target's skill level. Silence. Temporary disable target's ability to use magic. Still call bullshit on that. Fixate. Temporary freezes all class zones in the current area. Unlock. Unlocks certain chests and doors. This spell is ineffective against locks sealed by puzzles or barriers. Eureka. Reveals traps, making them visible for a limited time. The spell only affects the local area. Analyzes targets' various stats such as HP and MP. Enemies with low HP are easier to analyze. Enchanter. We have Luft Fusion. Temporary raises air. Spark is fire. Soil is earth. Frost is water. And then special teleport, seize save points. Move instantly between circles of magic. Displays the list of circles that allow teleportation. Select the destination, actually instantly teleport there. That's probably going to be useful for workshops and whatnot. So. All right, next up we have our demo disc. So yeah, I think this is the second disc that's on here. So SquareSoft 2000 Collector CD Volume 1. Included with Vagrant Story is SquareSoft's 2000 Collector CD Volume 1, which offers a sneak preview of the upcoming and recently released SquareSoft games and a chance to play demo versions of Chocobo Racing, Front Mission 3, and Threads of Fate. Set up your PlayStation game console according to the instructions in the instruction manual. Make sure the power is off before inserting or removing a compact disc. Insert the collector CD disc and close the disc cover. Insert a controller and turn on the PlayStation game console. The collector CD will begin at the main menu. Use the directional buttons to select one of the titles to preview and press the cross button. After viewing a demo or pressing the start button during a preview mode, the game will return to the main menu. This can also be accessed by any time by simultaneously pressing the select start L1, L2, R1, and R2 buttons. The following previews are offered on the disc. We have Chocobo Racing, interactive playable demo. Chocobo Dungeon 2, it's a preview movie. Saga Frontiers, preview movie. Chrono Cross, preview movie. Threads of Fate, interactive playable demo. Legend of Mana is a preview movie. And Front Mission 3. So, out of these games, have never played Chocobo Racing, have never played Chocobo Dungeon, have not played Saga Frontier 2, have played Chrono Cross, I don't remember Threads of Fate. Played the shit out of Legend of Mana as well as Front Mission 3. So, and those are on the list to play. I'll look into this Threads of Fate though. But yeah, most of these games are on my list to cover at some point or another. So, Legend of Mana is probably going to be up sooner than the others though. So, and then here's our controls for the games. So I'm not going to go over those though because it's not super important. Basic controls for Front Mission 3. And then Chocobo Racing. All right, next up we have our very 2000-ishes stuff here. We have cartoons, Comic and Curves, www.ruptor.com, original shows, hot girls, live chats, webcams, and cool stuff. The website's not around anymore. I actually looked it up. So, exclusive Vagrant Story comic book art now available at monstermart.com. Ashley Riot guest starring on the Marty show, coming soon. All right, next up we have Arm Yourself with the Brady Games official strategy guide. Master the complex battle system with comprehensive combat strategies. Unleash fierce attacks with impressive chain abilities. Learn how to construct ultra powerful weapons. I am actually going to be using that guide. So there's another one called Piggyback, which also has similar stuff. But I'm going to be pulling the character bios from this strategy guide though, because it's a lot more expansive. So, and it was only $15, so can't beat that. All right, then finally let's have our credits here. Our limited warranty and game tips. So if you want, you can call 1-900-407-CLUE with a K. 95 cents a minute for automated tips and $1.25 for live assistance. So, yeah. Then finally, the back of our... maybe I have played Threads of Fate. It does look interesting, or it looks familiar to me. We have Legend of Mana. Definitely be playing that. I think that's probably going to be one of the ones that are up next. Chrono Cross, dude. I got that game and the strategy guide on the release date, and I think I was disappointed in that game. Maybe it's because the strategy guide just made it way too easy. I don't know. I don't know what it was. I've never been hot on the whole Chrono Trigger thing. And it's a good game, but I don't know. I think I might have missed that train. Let's see what Threads of Fate looks familiar, but I don't really remember it. So, but I'll look into it. But all right, guys. Well, that finishes up the manual. So in our next, it'll be right after this. We're gonna go ahead and jump into gameplay, and we'll go from there. So, yeah, I'll see you over there. Until then, God bless and stay safe. Okay, bye bye.